First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liaoming, to Master Sakya Zhengko, to the 16 Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice, Padma Kumara. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today. Accountant to the Tribuddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. The Law Advisor to the Tribuddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Jennifer Zhou. From CTI TV Taiwan, producer for the Geni Tiansang Shinten, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi. Assistant to the former Vice President Li Shulian and the PR Director of the International Businesswomen Association, Dharma Sister Che Huiling. From the Tian Ya Ye Choir Group, Dharma Brother Ge, Dharma Sister Lin, and Dharma Sister Tsai. And a dancer from the Taiwanese Sunny Line Dance Group, Miss Lin Yixin. PR Director of the Taiwan Lechang Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wang. Producers for the Hevajra Exposition, development stages of Tantrayana, and also the Platform Sutra, Master Lin Yu. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? Cantonese. So today we practice Padma Kumara as the deity yoga, and the origin of Padma Kumara was when I was 26 years old at the Taichung Yi Huang Temple, the Jit Emperor Temple. Had my divine eye opened by the Golden Mother, and then I entered into the light circle of Taiji, and I saw my own past lives. And she pointed to just white, bright light, very bright. And she pointed to that deity and said, "This is Padma Kumara, the lotus youth, your past life." Because I was flying and I heard very clearly the name Lianhua Tongzi in Chinese, meaning the lotus youth or lotus child. And afterward, at the time when Golden Mother opened my divine eye, that evening I saw the scene very vividly, very clearly. So I always remembered this Padma Kumara. And then I visited many spiritual cultivators of the time, the great monks or the great lay practitioners, spiritual cultivators, and most of them, nobody knew Padma Kumara. And gradually, I searched on my own the origin of this Padma Kumara. And gradually, I discovered that Padma Kumara, this name, Lianhua Tongzi, appeared inside the sutras. And also in the Donghuang caves. And they printed a book. And inside the book, he was referred directly as Lianhua Tongzi, Padma Kumara. The book was printed by People's Republic of China and directly referred as the Lianhua Tongzi, Padma Kumara. Please raise your hand if you have read that book. Nobody? The book on the Donghuang caves and printed Lianhua Tongzi, Padma Kumara. And also by the Lanzhou University of Gansu, they had research on Padma Kumara. And then he found Bao Yi youth and Bao Sang youth, precious mind youth and supreme precious youth. And then I realized that the Adi Buddha, in transmitting to the Vajradhara and Mahamudra, it's from the Vajradhara to the Bao Yu youth. So Mahamudra is transmitted directly from Vajradhara to Bao Yi youth. That's the Mahamudra of Tantrayana. So the first guru, of course, the first one is Adi Buddha, and then the second guru would be Padma Kumara. So in many sutras, it was written that Bao Yi youth and Bao Sang youth, and this youth or child, it means bodhisattva. And also Guru Padmasambhava, or the lotus born. Of course, then he is a lotus child or lotus youth or Padma Kumara. There are many more manifestations of Padma Kumara. If we go to the Donghuang cave number 314, inside it there is Padma Kumara. You don't have to go to the cave 314 because it is closed for public. Only for privileged people they can see inside it. But they will tell you that in each of the caves there would be Padma Kumara. And then we realized that inside the Donghuang caves, there are also Golden Mother. And there are three deities together. One is Golden Mother, and then Donghua Dijun, and then Xiangguang, the auspicious light youth, on the same position. Golden Mother, Donghua Dijun, and then auspicious light youth. And this auspicious light youth is also Padma Kumara. So the relationships are getting closer and closer. And Golden Mother inside the Donghuang caves is referred as the Queen Mother of the West because gold or metal belongs to the West. And then wood belongs to the East, and that's the master wood or Donghua Dijun, or the elderly of the East. And the one who give the talk is the Yu Jade, dawn, like the morning dawn, and gentleman. So Yu Chen Jun is also Donghua Dijun, or the master wood of the East. So the relationship, the affinities are very close and profound. So Grandmaster knows of his own past lives. So I wrote a poem about standing on Borobudur. So it means that everything, all the past lives you experience as if it's right in front of your eyes. So Guru, inside our heart and inside our bodies are the Buddha nature. So we have Buddha nature inside our mind and body. And we can say that everyone's Buddha nature is Padma Kumara. So look at all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are all seated on a lotus blossoms. Many, many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are seated on the lotus throne. So lotus symbolizes a Buddha. If you can be seated on a lotus, then that is a fruition. Almost every Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are seated on a lotus, but not necessarily Herukas and Dharma protectors. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dharmapalas, Dakinis, and divinities. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are seated on the lotus, but the rest are not necessarily on the lotus. So think about it. From then until now, 45 years have passed. From when I was 26 until now, 45 years. So I still follow the instruction given to me by the three deities descending at that time. You need to be wholeheartedly studying the Buddhas and wholeheartedly studying the Dharma, and wholeheartedly generating bodhicitta or toward goodness. Learn the Buddha, learn the Dharma, and generate bodhicitta. Once you gain enlightenment, and see the Buddha nature, your bodhicitta will be generated naturally, automatically. Once you generate bodhicitta, then you have no more enemies or enmities in this world. As soon as you generate bodhicitta, you have no more hatreds. As soon as you generate bodhicitta, your enemies do not exist anymore. As soon as you generate bodhicitta, you have no more revenge or hatred, no more. So the vows created by Padma Kumara is never to forsake any single being. In the future, in providing salvation to sentient beings, you cannot forsake even one single being. So Grandmaster too never forsakes any single being, any one single being. However, the sentient beings are forsaking me, and that's natural too. The sentient beings forsaking me, or disciples forsaking Grandmaster, that's also normal. Because once you understand the words of the Buddha, that everything is impermanent, nothing lasts forever in this world. It's ever changing. Nothing is static or fixed. From the smallest thing to the biggest thing, things inside your body you can tell about impermanence. Start from your body, you can tell that impermanence is here. And as big as country on earth, the biggest thing is the country. Even the country has to undergo impermanence. The country is also ever changing. Everything is ever changing. Nothing is unchanged, including the laws. The laws are also ever changing. Sometimes they pass a new law, or they eliminate an old law. In America, marijuana was illegal. Now, marijuana is legal. So that's a change. Now, it is publicized that marijuana is legal in America. So even the laws are changing. In the past, homosexuals are illegal. So they are in secret. But now, in the state of Washington, they can have legal marriages. So Grandmaster can confirm the marriage of two men. So that's legal. So it's legal in the state of Washington. So that's changed from the past that it was. Now it is legal in United States. You said that, right? So it is legal in America. In the past, it was illegal in some states. For the Catholic Church and the Christian Church, they don't approve of homosexuality because they say that God created man and woman called Adam and Eve, and then let them get married. God didn't say that Adam and Eve are both men or both women. So according to the Bible, God may not approve of homosexuality. But Grandmaster's opinion is somewhat different from most people. Grandmaster is more liberal. There are lots of female athletes actually have more yang ingredients and less yin ingredients, yang, yin and yang. So those athletes that get the gold or silver medals, they look like men. They don't look like women. They are basically men. So it means that their male hormones are stronger and they show more male masculinity rather than femininity. And there are also men who are really feminine. I saw a man that asked for spiritual consultation, and then he left a pen, and I said, "Oh, this pen is yours." And he said, "This pen is for Grandmaster." he was tall and and huge and he said that, and when I heard that, my whole body I had goosebumps all over me. And then when he walked, with that smile, and when he walked down the steps, he kind of sway his hips. So his feminine hormone, the female hormones, are stronger in his body. So homosexuality is a reality. It cannot be cannot be denied. So, the female athletes, they look like men. They don't have femininity at all. So in this world, everything is ever changing. So once you realize that everything is impermanent, you would comprehend. There are many Dharma that is unfixed. So they are not fixed, and they are also impermanent. This is the concept of impermanence. Talking about Padma Kumara, how come we went into a tangent about the homosexuality? And Grandmaster is not a homosexual. And Grandmaster has lots of male hormones and almost none, or just a little bit of female hormones. So as a tantric practitioners, we know there are some animals that have both masculinity and femininity in it. And human beings are divided into man and woman. So if you have male hormone or the female hormone, there are two different kinds of hormones. And inside our body, we have most male hormones and a little bit of female hormones. And then for the woman, mostly female hormones and a little bit of male hormones. So if your wife has more male hormones than female hormones, then you should be watchful because she would be a tiger mother, very fierce. In this joke, there's some woman who get angry. That would be the start of the Third World War. Now let's talk about the spiritual consultation Dharma practice of the three goddesses. This would be next Saturday. I will transmit the Dharma for that. And today we have the Dharma invitation ritual. Who wrote that poems? The one that you recited. Who wrote that? Who wrote it? I'll tell you in private. Why is this a secret? She doesn't want to show off. Why? What's so big deal? Who wrote it? Miss Gloria and a disciple from Taiwan. It was really well written. So I felt touched. And thank you for reciting it. Now we'll continue to talk about the Great Perfection Dharma. Thus, in the Diamond Sutra, there is this statement that the Tathagata speaks for those developing the great vehicle and for those developing the highest vehicle. This kind of great Dharma, such as Ren Yun, will never be understood by people without the proper spiritual maturity. It cannot be put into words. The Holy Red Crown Vajra Master can enter into the dreams of numerous disciples in the same night. These disciples could be living in various parts of the world, such as Brazil, Southeast Asia, Europe, and Canada. So this is Ren Yun, where one manifests multiple bodies from one body, and it is called the Ren Yun Dharma Gate of the Great Perfection Dharma. So the Diamond Sutra, there is a statement that the Tathagata speaks for those developing the great vehicle and for those developing the highest vehicle. We know in Buddhism there is the small vehicle or Hinayana. That's the original Buddhism, and then the Mahayana, Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Lastly, the difference between Hinayana and Mahayana so spiritual cultivators, if driving the train, that would be called Mahayana. It can deliver many people. If someone is just rowing a small boat by himself, that's called Hinayana. So the small vehicle is you cultivate spiritually on your own for yourself, and then gain enlightenment and see the Buddha nature. And the greatest one would be Vajrayana. Vajrayana is also considered the great vehicle that you want to widely deliver all sentient beings, or many sentient beings, and you generate bodhicitta. Some people would be a hermit by himself deep in the mountain. So he cultivates spiritually for himself and liberating himself. That's arhat. And then the great vehicle is the one who delivers many beings. And Vajrayana is also considered as Mahayana, or the great vehicle. So the original Buddhism, Buddha would speak according to the spiritual roots of the disciples. Most of his teachings is about to attain arhatship, is for the small vehicle or Hinayana. But please don't belittle or undermine the Hinayana small vehicle, because that's the foundation. Because even the Hinayana Buddhism was also taught by the Buddha, and it is also Buddha Dharma. But all the cultivators, the outer appearance would be that of the Hinayana, and the inner mind is to widely deliver sentient beings. So even when you deliver many sentient beings, you also have to practice yourself. So practicing yourself is the foundation. And then you spread the Buddha Dharma, generate bodhicitta, and deliver more beings. So there are no contradictions, no conflict. So the Hinayana is the basics, the foundation. And then you widely deliver sentient beings. And once you generate this bodhicitta, it becomes Mahayana. Let me share a joke. A Zen master is meditating, and all of a sudden there's a huge knife on his throat. And the thief, no, this is a robber, give me your money. And the Zen master said, money is something outside our body. It cannot be brought when we are born, and it cannot be brought when we die. Get what you want. And the robber said, okay, you said so. And the Zen master said, everything is cause and effect. So I must have created something that I have to suffer now. And the robber said, Oh, that's really nice, Zen Master. I have sinned, and can you deliver me? Yes. And how? So put down your knife, and immediately you would attain Buddhahood. So the robber put down the knife, and the Zen master took the knife and then pointed to the robber and said, "Now return the money to me." So what I meant by telling this joke is, so the Zen master was still a mundane being. So we need to recognize very clearly who is a true guru. Please don't be cheated. Don't be tricked. It's very easy to be cheated. You need to recognize clearly who is a real guru, and then you take refuge in him. I often say that disciples can leave the guru, but please never defame the guru. That's your virtue. So if you don't connect with the guru, if when you see the guru you start to despise him, you can leave. But please never slander or defame your guru. Because you have taken refuge, then he is your guru. And at least he has taught you something. So if you want to leave, it's okay, you can leave, but never slander. Never defame your guru. If you slander, then you created a bad karmic connection with your guru. So good karma, bad karma, and the unrecorded karma. So the unrecorded karma is like eating and sleeping and performing housework. They are all considered the unrecorded karma. And the recorded karma is when you do good deeds or you do bad deeds. If you slander your guru, then there would be a bad mouth. Then there would be a recorded karma. Then there would be the cause of transmigration or the cause of reincarnation. So like I said earlier, we can only perform good deeds for the good karma. That's for the recorded karma. And we can also perform the unrecorded deeds for the unrecorded karma, but never create bad karma. So if you and your guru can cultivate spiritually together and have attainments together, that's very good. But if you can't, because you may not have a complying affinity with your guru, it's okay for you to leave, but you never want to talk behind your guru, because then you are creating a recorded bad karma, and that would be the cause of your reincarnation. So explaining it this way, you should be clear, right? Xiao Zhang said that romantic love is the tomb of marriage. And the wife was really upset. And then the wife set up a candlelight dinner. And the husband said, "What are you doing?" And the wife replied, "Oh, I'm just waiting for you to." So on the wedding anniversary, it's the same as going to the tomb. It's not a real joke, but so cause and effect and retributions do exist. If you can master Ren Yun, once you gain enlightenment and see the Buddha nature, the word Ren Yun would be like going as you pleases. Do as you please. Do as you please with mastery. Ren Yun means that for the enlightened one. You can transform anything, and whatever you do is spiritual cultivation, and that would be Ren Yun. But if you cannot transform, then it will not be Ren Yun. Then you would fall into the cause and effect, and the causes and conditions. So no matter what you do, if you master the transformation, then that would be called Ren Yun. So for the Mahasiddha, it would be like a drop of water entering into the ocean. That you merge with the space, then you can manifest bodies outside your body. That at the same time, you can enter into the dreams of many disciples. And that's also a kind of manifesting bodies outside your body. Sometimes you would see inside your meditation. Sometimes you see it in broad daylight. Sometimes you see it in the dreams. There are three kinds of seeings: seeing in the broad daylight, seeing in meditation, and seeing in the dreams. Some people saw Grandmaster in broad daylight. And I've said that several disciples that saw Grandmaster in broad daylight. Oh, you're incredible. Many people had visions. In broad daylight, not many, but in the dreams, most people saw Grandmaster in the dreams. Many, almost everybody had dreams of Grandmaster. Some people in their meditations. And there's some who saw in coma. Dharma brother too. Yeah, please give the microphone to him. Can you please share? About mid-August this year, There was a Dharma teacher in China that went into a coma, and on the 6th day, the doctors told their family members that should prepare for his funeral. So his family members contacted me because they found out that he had ordered some Buddha images from me, and so I asked that, oh, because that Dharma teacher, that monk, got in a car accident and now is in coma, and they asked me to, told me that they're about to be cremated or buried. And then when I learned of that situation, I sent a fax here to Seattle, Litang Temple, to ask Grandmaster for Buddha deliverance. And then on the 8th day, he woke up, and then he said Grandmaster and Amitabha came to bless him, and then he went back into coma. And then later on, he recovered gradually, and now he's out of hospital. Thank you, Grandmaster. And I told Grandmaster, and Grandmaster said that Golden Mother saved him. Actually, it's Grandmaster who helped him because he saw Grandmaster appeared. We had the Dharma sister from Foshan in China called Dharma Sister Liao. She had the bridge for the heart bypass, and she kept praying to Grandmaster, please help me so that I have no pain and everything would go smoothly. And when she was in surgery, Grandmaster appeared. And she was in a coma, so she didn't know. And the doctors felt strange and thought that she may use sandalwood incense or oil. Actually, she never used any sandalwood fragrance, actually, because Grandmaster came and blessed her. So the operation went really well. Actually, she was going to come here and to thank Grandmaster personally, but the doctor didn't allow her. So in the dreams or in coma, they could also see, he saw Grandmaster and Amitabha Buddha coming to bless him. So that's manifesting bodies outside the body. It's a kind of Ren Yun. It doesn't have to be Grandmaster, Amitabha Buddha, or Amitabha Buddha and I together, or Golden Mother, or whichever deity's manifestation, or my body, either way. So, but to let him see clearly, oh, that's Grandmaster. So this is considered Ren Yun. Simply said, if you can manifest bodies outside your body, there is a kind of Ren Yun. And please don't fall into the cause and effect or the karma. And we can only do good to create good karma, or to create the unrecorded karma. These are okay. But the bad karma, never create that, because that's the cause of reincarnations or the rebirth realm. So if you cultivate spiritually until you're like Sijun, that you gain enlightenment and you attain Buddhahood, or you see the Buddha nature, then you can be Ren Yun. Then doesn't matter what Grandmaster does, Grandmaster can transform it to become the unrecorded karma. So in Tantrayana, you have to do a lot of things. There are all different kinds of Dharma or Dharma gates. There's one that's called the visualization of your environment. So you change your environment. And the other one is called the visualization of transforming yourself to become the Yidam. And then another one called the secret visualization. And you visualize yourself and change yourself to become very secretive, to become formless, intangible. Change your environment and all different kinds of dharmas. So once you 明心见心, once you gain enlightenment and see the Buddha nature, and you know how to transform them, then it becomes the unrecorded karma, which means it will not become the cause of your reincarnation or rebirth. If you don't know how to transform them, then those would be the recorded karma, and that means it would either be a good karma or bad karma. With good karma, you can go to heavens. But if you see the Buddha nature, then you can go beyond to the Buddha lands. If you only create good karma, then all you can go to the heavenly realms, the human realms, or the Asura realms. The three good realms. But if you create bad karma, then you go down to hell, animal realms, or the hungry ghost. That's the three lower realms. And altogether, they're the 6 rebirth realms. So you don't want to have the cost for this 6 rebirth realms. Then that would be spiritual cultivation. Then you need to go beyond. And then you can have attainments like Buddhahood, Bodhisattvahood, Prateka Buddhahood, Arhatship. So in Tantrayana, Mahamudra and Great Perfection Dharma are considered at this. And also the Mahamaya and also Yamantaka of Gelugpa, all for this so that you can have attainments, so you can transform to become rainbow light. That your body emit rainbow light, or the body transform to become rainbow light, like Guru Padmasambhava. When he appears, you would be able to see lots of rainbow lights. When Grandmaster sees his past life, it's complete white light, no form. That's how it is. So, if you can master Ren Yun, you can go anywhere. You can go to the Buddha lands. You can go anywhere. This shell is impermanent. This physical body is impermanent, that you need to discard at any time. But when you transform to become rainbow light, then you can become whatever you want, and that would be called Ren Yun. Tatai told Appen, if you want to do bad things, it has to be at noon. And why? Oh, because this is Chinese words. But my grandma said that if you do bad things, that you would suffer from retributions morning or night. In Chinese, meaning sooner or later, morning or night, but not at noon. So that's why they just do bad things at noon. So we cannot be so literal with the words. When in Chinese it says morning or night, you would suffer the retribution. Actually, at any time, any place, any word or any action or any being, actually, if we are not creating the cause, we are suffering the effects. We are amidst this karma, and very, very rare, very few people can avoid that. So that's why in Buddhism we say it's okay to create good karma, or it's okay to create the unrecorded karma. But the bad karma, never. And bad karma and good karma are the recorded karma. The sixth patriarch Huineng said, do not think of good, do not think of bad. So, whatever you do not frame them as good or bad. So, you don't create good karma and you don't create bad karma. So, at this time, you would be able to see your own Buddha nature. Once you comprehend this, please comprehend this. Okay, very simple concept. On the moon, what is good, what is bad? There isn't the so-called good or bad, because there are no human beings, no animals, no plants, no flying birds, no swimming fish, no walking animals, nothing. So what would be good, what would be bad? So the moon is considered to be the unrecorded karma. Can you make your mind to be like the moon? This is what the sixth patriarch said. If you are all by yourself on the moon, so what is good, what is bad? That's why the sixth patriarch said, don't think of the good, don't think of the bad. Just like when you're living on the moon, then you can transcend the rebirth realm. Then you can gain enlightenment and see the Buddha nature. That's what was meant by the sixth patriarch. That's how I explain it. Otherwise, you may think like, why? The sixth patriarch said, like, don't think of the good, because we have to do good. But on the moon, what is good? What is bad? What is eating meat, or what is vegetarian? Only in the human world that exists, but not on the moon. For Buddhist practitioners, at the end, ultimately, you have to let go the Buddha Dharma too. So it's the same. On the moon, is there Buddha Dharma there? No, there isn't. So this is the words spoken by the sixth patriarch Huineng. This is not a joke, but it's like this. Why the villagers could not understand, why do we want to take the elevators instead of taking the stairs, and then you have to take the taxi to go to the gym and run? And then why do you have to get on the internet and then take the sleeping pills to help you to sleep? So you eat. So you eat a big dinner, and yet you're talking about that gaining weight is not healthy. And you use a good beef and chicken to feed the dogs, and then you eat wild vegetables at the restaurants. So the villagers just couldn't understand it. It's the same thing with Buddha Dharma. Sometimes you can't understand it. Why did the six patriarchs say that? Do not think of the good and do not think of the bad. Why didn't the six patriarchs say, just think of the good and never of the bad? All I can explain is use the moon as an analogy, that his mind has no thoughts of good and bad. It's completely unrecorded. When you reach this unrecorded state, then you can perform the Ren Yun. If you have not reached the unrecorded, then you would fall amidst the karma, the cause and effects. Now, can you understand? A little bit, right? At first you may not. So the sixth patriarch said, don't think of the good, don't think of the bad. But don't you teach us to do good things? So good and bad still recorded. But only one thing is the unrecorded karma, that only in the unrecorded karma you can see your own Buddha nature, and only then would be called Ren Yun. The question is, can you transform? In Ren Yun, the question is, can you transform everything into the unrecorded karma? Jesus said, don't let the right hand know what the left hand does. The good deeds that the right hand does, don't let the left hand knows. So Jesus Christ talked about the unrecorded karma here. This is incredible. And in Buddhist Sutra, it was mentioned about the three wheels are intrinsically empty. So when you perform giving, the person who gives does not exist, the person who receives it does not exist, and the gift itself also does not exist. And this is called the three wills are intrinsically empty. And this is the same as what Jesus said, that the good deeds that the right hand does, don't let the left hand knows. Don't always remember all the good deeds that you have done. Forget about them. Then that would become the unrecorded karma. If you always remember, oh, this is the good deeds that I have done, this and this and this, then they are recorded karma. This is rather deep and profound. It is hard to explain it clearly. The mom told the daughter, 小毛, your husband-to-be is so ugly and cannot talk clearly. I would be embarrassed to tell people that this is my son-in-law. And then the daughter said, oh, but his assets is like hundreds of millions. And mom said, well, we don't have to be so vain. Why do we care what other people think? And love is blind. And I support you all the way. So this is considered to be the recorded karma. So now this has become recorded karma. Because of money, you marry that man. So you have a goal, an intention. And you have the reason. So that would become the cause of the rebirth. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.